Hi guys, happy Witchy Wednesday. I am on time today. Yes, I have a head cold. I'm pissed. So, alright, back to themystica.com. Thank you guys for this amazing information on the study of Venus, which is lovely. Alright, so, alright, back to I don't know what part what. This is a long article, so it's good though. It's good stuff. So, alright, although one animal associated with the waters of the goddess at Beltré is a white cow and her calf. Now, the same association with bovine figures is seen in connection with the goddess of Boyne River, Bone. These later Celtic myths also include an association of the water sources with water birds, which have been traced to the regenerative rather than the elementary character of the archetype. God, that is just, that whole sentence, literally, was jam-packed with, just mysteries and just everything. I love it. Now, the bovine figure, which enters into the Bronze Age, Bronze and the Iron Age mythologies of the Celts and the Greeks in the form of Bone and Hera, respectively, may be said to represent the elementary character of the feminine archetype, which clearly emerges in later mythologies in bovine form with the domestication of animals. So, the transformative animal form associated with the sacred feminine is the bird. A creature seen as as early as the Paleolithic as a force that transcends ordinary human consciousness by transcending from the watery realms to the sky. So, this form most closely associated with the flight of Venus from its rising as the morning star in the eastern twilight is represented at Newgrange by the whooper swans who winter at the mound in significant numbers. The marking of the constellation of Cygnus as the shape of the passenger of the mound, and the latter associations of the Celtic goddess Ser. I wonder if there's any Ser, C-A-E-R, Care, Ser. I wonder if there's any connection with Circe, Care, who is transformed into a swan and dwells at Newgrange. So, moreover, the tales of Dichtine, who births the famous Celtic hero Cuchulainn at the mound, and the children of Lir, who transform into swans at the mound, adhere to the water bird significance at Newgrange. So, nearby Newgrange, there are two interesting sites to include in the sacred mounds, or the sacred sources for water and water birds, in association with the regeneratrix. Both are mentioned by Murphy as man-made circular ponds at Newgrange, and the Newgrange Forknocks harmonization. So along the Boyne River, not far from Newgrange, there are 4 circular ponds reminiscent of the man-made wells at Hagar. So where swans winter and feed in the shallow waters. Murphy notes that the swans were held in great reverence. So, as was the constellation of the giant swan at Cygnus. So, in addition to these water sources and water birds, the nearby passage temple of Forknocks reflects the same motifs in its structure and artwork. The egg-shaped chamber of Forknocks might be seen as a cruciform design with 3 recesses, much like those recesses in other regeneration chambers. So Forknocks also has zigzag water patterns, I was thinking of rolling papers, that mark the passage temple as one of the regenerations, as does its central lintel. So the west recess lintel, and entrance, and the entrance lintel with 8 quadrangles for the Venus cycle. So according to Murphy, of significance in the fact that both Newgrange and Forknocks have been, as an integral element of their design, the shape of an egg, the symbol of fertilization or of reproduction, of new birth. We are reminded in the fact that the primordial cosmic egg has its roots in much more than ancient times, so it is connected with the symbolism, which includes water, a bird, a human, and an egg. So the woman in this case is Ser. That's really interesting, the egg. The Easter eggs big time Easter eggs popping up here. If you guys know it, drop it below. So, where did I go? Where in the hell did I go? Oh, okay, there we are. There I am. The passage mound of Noth at the Bru Na Bien may also be associated with birth and rebirth in the cosmology of the sacred waters of the feminine, because it contains a basin in its cross-shaped eastern chamber. So Noth and Douth, which combined with Newgrange to make the sacred brew, according to Murphy, utilizing different methods to evaluate, animate, and predict the same thing, the standstills or the lunacies of the moon. So their connections to the cycles of Venus may be seen on the stones, and in particular in the markings on the stone basin at the Noth. So the stone basin found in the east passage of Noth is decorated on the outside with a pair of concentric arcs with a circle in the center of each. It seems as if there are 8 concentric circles with a spiral. Ooh, that'd be beautiful. I can picture this. Dissecting the 4th circle on the left. The arc may well be a symbol of the rising of Venus, and the 4th year marked by the spiral may well be the rising of Venus in the winter solstice twilight of the 4th year in the 8th year of the Venus cycle. Is that confusing to you guys? I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. I mean, I understand it because I love Venus, but... So, on the bottom of the stone basin is a circle with arcs that represent halos. So, around the center circle with 6 radiating lines on each side of the space beneath the circle, we have the triple goddess symbol coming up somewhere, I know it. Whether they are configurations of the Venus cycle is speculative. However, the markings on the basin are clearly associated with water and the radiating energy produced by water as a sacred life form. So the fact that the basin is in the east chamber of Noth is also indicative of the birthing aspect of the waters of the feminine. So, the triple goddess has got to be popping up somewhere here. I mean, wouldn't you agree? I would think. Alright, so, now, finally, and probably most dramatic, ooh, I like this, I like drama, of all the evidence of the Venus cycle and the regeneratrix in the Bru Na Bien are the markings of the cosmic cycles on the curbstones of the mounds. So these markings depict the cycles of Venus, the moon, and the sun in an intricate art form that has not been superseded in detail and accuracy in any other culture, proving the ancient astronomers of Ireland masters of their art, So, at Newgrange, the entrance stone, the stones in the passage chamber, and curbstone, which is halfway around the outside of the mound, are decorated with the symbol of Venus, the sun, and the moon, in varied patterns that seem to express the merging cohesiveness of the cosmos in all its complexity. This is so interesting. So according to Murphy, the astronomical alignment of these stones is of central consideration to the monument because they mark the light of Venus, the moon, and the sun at the winter solstice. As they enter the mound, reach the back chamber, and pass over curbstone. Now the entrance stone depicts this cosmological triad with triple spirals and quadrangles in complementary patterns on either side of the central line of a giant egg-shaped stone that guides the light into the mound. So the roof box with the Venus lintel that guides the light of Venus is pointed directly above the dividing line of the entrance stone. So as the light passes through the chamber, stones decorated with triple spirals are illuminated. That would be beautiful to see. So curbstone 52 on the outside of the mound is also bisected with patterns of the triple spiral and quadrangles, as well as cut marks which suggests the watery element of the goddess as Venus. Just these images are amazing. The spiral, all of what is going on with the goddess and the regeneratrix is really seriously amazing stuff. I love it. Now, on the passage temple of Noth, curbstone 52 has been called the calendar stone by Martin Brennan. So this stone, which contains a spiral, wavy lines, and a series of circles and crescent shapes, depicts the 19-year cycle of the moon, according to Murphy. The numbers and arrangements of at the stones at the Stone Age sites were chosen so that there were several ways of counting them. Thus, the calendar stone can be counted as a 62-month metonic interval, or a 99-month 8-year Venus-Moon interval. Likewise, at the Mound of Doth, Curbstone 51 on the eastern side of the mound has sundial shapes containing stars with radials that count 99 months, which brings the 8-year cycle of Venus together with the cycles of the Sun and the Moon. Now, Brennan states that on Curbstone 52, the 8 circles and ovals very likely represent the 8 years, which are reduced to terms of months on Curbstone. So, on Curbstone 52, 8 circles and ovals of varying shapes are decorated with small black circles. Now, the pattern of the circles and ovals resemble the journey of Venus, where it may be sighted in the east on 3 occasions in relation to the moon. Now, in the west on 3 occasions, and below the horizon in 2 positions. Like many of the patterns of Venus on ancient monuments of the Brunabien, Venus is seen as a vital part of the cosmic unity of Venus, the moon, and the sun at Doth. Quite interesting. So, a relatively small passage temple in the British Isles that indicates a purpose similar to the Temple of Hagar, in that the pattern of the temple displays more qualities of a Venus temple rather than the grand passage temples of the Brunabien, which represent a cosmic calendar of magnificent proportions. So, is the passage temple of Bryn Celyn Ddu on the Isle of Anglesey in northern Wales, Bryn Celyn Ddu, like Hagar and Pierre Plates on the Lochmere Peninsula in France, faces the sea. Now, Bryn Celyn Ddu is approximately a mile from the channel that separates the Isle of Anglesey from the mainland of Wales, with a dramatic view of the water from the typically steep stone cliffs off the coast of northern Wales. The opening of the chamber of the mound faces northeast. However, a slot or opening reminiscent of the oracle chambers in the passage temples of Malta and the shaft at Les Coq faces the southeast with a view of Venus from the chamber. Now, 2 pillars, one on the outside of the passage temple and 1 freestanding pillar in the chamber, may be seen as the symbol of the columns of life or the world tree. So the outside pillar is decorated with wavy lines of water and energy, and the inside pillar, according to Christopher Knight and Robert Lomas, marks the light of Venus. Now, around the winter solstice, the slot in the pillar of the chamber accurately measure the angular distance of Venus from the sun, using the difference between daggers of light cast by the sun and Venus onto the pillar. So, the positioning of the slot has been carefully designed to make this possible. So, according to Knight and Lomas, in Welsh mythology, this passage temple is associated with the mythic astronomer Gwydion ab Don, the son of Dawn, the mother goddess of Wales. Ooh, I like this. Now, whether grandly overpowering and magnificent, as seen in the passages temples of the Brunabien and Hagar, or startling, remote, and private, as seen in the passage temples of Bryn, Celyn Ddu, and Pierre Plates, the connection to the starry dynamo of energy worshipped as the regenerative forces of the sacred feminine is evident in the temples of the Paleolithic and Neolithic eras in the history of human consciousness. The development of an emerging archetype given the characteristics of birth and rebirth, avenues for the immortality of the spirit to transcend this reality to other worlds, is worshipped in distinct forms that guide our imagination. So the symbols of birth and rebirth, with Venus rising from the watery realms as the eastern star, the water bird as a messenger and guide of the immortal soul. So the journey from east to west, and then to the world of darkness and sleep, and the mounting energy of the planet as it traverses the night sky, seen as a sexual metaphor, contribute to the overall complex of images of the transformative character of the goddess. The columns of life, the world tree, and the axis of the world that the goddess mounts with energy and glory all intensify the experience of the fertile and nubile feminine in the universe. most of all the abundance of female symbols in the emerging language of the goddess that crystallizes into the language and worship of the organized religions of the Minoan-Mycenaean civilizations that follow, becomes an overwhelming symbol of the feminine in human history. So, known as Regeneratrix in her transformative character, she is seen in the night sky as Venus. That was a big article, guys. That was a really big article. I love that. I mean, that was so informative, especially for Venus. Especially for Venus and everything that goes on with Venus, and I mean, it was just incredibly amazing. I love it. So, I'm just completely obsessed with the whole Venus thing. I always have been. And now it's all starting to just kind of pop up and just make sense. Everything is just starting to click. So it's pretty cool. It is actually really neat. So, but alright guys, that's pretty much it for today. So, I will see you guys tomorrow. Happy Witchy Wednesday. I'm actually on time today, I think, yes. If it's not Wednesday, I swear, yes, it's Wednesday. Happy Witchy Wednesday. I love you guys very much. Thank you guys for all your, all the condolences, all just, you guys are amazing. That's all I have to say. Just everything. All the love, there's a bunch of people that I have got to get back to, and I'm very sorry, but it's just really weird trying to wrap my mind around this still. No closure, no funeral, no nothing, and it's like, why? I'm so lost and confused. I have no idea what is even going on. It's so, yeah, I just have to just keep on going, and yeah, you guys have helped tremendously. And just your guys' love and support and your words, your kindness has touched my soul. So, that says a lot, because not a lot of people can touch my soul. But you guys have. So, I love you guys very much with all my heart. So, don't you dare go anywhere on me, or I will be super pissed. But, alright guys, I love you all very much. Please stay safe, stay healthy. If you don't have to go anywhere, don't. I know it's getting just cabin fever, but just please don't get sick. I love you guys with all my heart. All the way from, of course, Venus, all the way back down. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So, hopefully, yeah, I will. So, I love you all very much, and thank you guys for just being you. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.